back with Let's Talk. I'm Laughingboy. I'm still here with MasaeAnela.
Hello.
On the last episode, we talked a lot about who MasaeAnela is as a person.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Not everything. So today we're going to talk about a little bit of your channel's history. So we'll see how far we get.
Okay.
Okay. So now that we've gotten to know you a little better, we'll learn about your channel's history. For the viewers, this should kind of get people caught up in several years worth of history, like maybe inside jokes, references, anything else. So that by maybe the next convention that you go to, my dear faithful one viewer, so last year's new subscriber could be this year's aficionado. That was a terrible sentence. I wrote that. Shit. Okay. All right. You know what? Just tell me about your channel. I'm gonna take a breather.
Should I go ahead? Is it safe?
Yeah, just go ahead.
Okay. Well, my channel is primarily a Let's Play channel. I do gaming walkthroughs and kind of just playthroughs of various games that I personally really like. I also have a lot of Let's Draws, which is basically like sped up processes of me drawing, basically.
So when did you start making Let's Plays?
Wow, I'm bad. That banana hammock is coming out really fast.
Oh no.
Okay.
Wait, what?
No, I'm actually checking, like, how long I've been doing this.
I was about to say, the banana hammock is at maximum capacity?
Yes.
It's
Those
overloaded?
seams are straining, man. I'm a terrible person in real life, I'm sorry.
The goose is loose.
Oh no! No! Why? Oh no! Images! Why did you make me think about that?
Some people just like to watch the world burn.
I started in October of 2009.
And what got you into doing them?
Basically, what happened was that I had an ex-boyfriend at the time who was like, "Hey, how about these videos? You'd be good at these. Why don't you try it?" And it was very rocky at first because I was like cripplingly shy. I was super shy and I just did not speak well at all. And at first I did it just to shut him up and make him stop bothering me. And then it became more about kind of developing my speech patterns because I eventually found out, hey, this is really good practice in, like, speaking to people and interacting with people, and I was making a lot of friends, so I just really enjoyed it after a while.
So was there anyone that kind of jump-started your LP career?
Other than my ex, it was actually Nintendo Capri Sun that I initially found, and I was like, this guy's really funny. I like what he does. Maybe I can do that too, you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of took his videos as kind of inspiration / as an example of what I wanted to do with my channel. And it was basically like, I thought he was super cool, which he is. I love him. He's amazing.
Oh, he's super cool.
Tim is super cool. I love Tim. But
He's really nice.
he was actually my initial driving force that made me think that this could be fun.
So at this point, is your channel currently partnered with any particular network?
Yeah, I'm currently partnered through Broadband TV, and they're pretty cool too.
Are they pretty cool?
They are pretty cool.
I'm looking. I'm searching for networks.
Oh, well, I've had no complaints so far.
Okay, cool. And for other people that are looking for networks, do you have any pieces of advice for them?
I take it you're taking this advice too, right? If you're looking.
I mean, yeah. I just thought it was an excellent segue.
Well, honestly, the only thing that I can really advise you to do is shop around. It sounds kind of weird to put it that way because, like, you're not actually shopping, but always, like, don't be afraid to kind of look around and compare networks. Because if you only go to one and you have your heart set on this one, then you might not be getting the best deal that you could in the long run. And when you're dealing with legal contracts and like that can span multiple years potentially, you don't want to get yourself backed into a corner that you don't want to that you can't get yourself out of. So just make
Okay.
sure you go around, ask people what they're about, what they can offer you, and then go to someone else and see what they have to offer you. And so on and so forth. And eventually you'll find one that you really click with and that you really like, cuz it goes beyond just like the channel. It can also be your priorities can also be in like talking to an actual person, having someone to connect with, having people to support your channel, etc., etc. It depends on what you want, but you just have to make sure that you're making the right decision.
That's actually really helpful.
Yay, I'm glad.
Yeah. Note to self: don't do just what Game Grumps are doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bad idea.
All right. So, can you tell me a little bit more about what the LP climate was like when you started?
It was I well, the group that I kind of hung out with, they were really cool, and I'm still in touch with a few of them to this day. We don't do as much as we used to, mainly because a lot of them have stopped making videos or their interests have started going elsewhere, etc., etc. But the climate I feel was a little more community geared than it is now.
Do you think you could maybe elaborate on that?
Put it this way, back in those days, we had groups on YouTube where you could go and you could kind of join these little mini groups and start talking to people and put your videos on there and get feedback, etc., etc., right? It was basically like an extra way to network and get in contact with the people that have similar interests to you. But in the current day of YouTube, we don't really have that anymore. It's kind of a lost feature, I guess. And I feel that shot down a lot of the not really the community itself, but just being able to connect with others because now it's very segmented, if that makes sense. I hope it makes
I
sense.
think it does.
Because I remember when I was first starting out, I met a lot of my friends from those little groups where you would have these little threads and you can talk with each other and so on and so forth. And it was just a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot, getting to know everyone. But now it's a lot harder to single someone out and being like, "Hey, what are you doing? Let's talk about this," you know? You have to go elsewhere like Reddit or something of that nature, and it's not as direct from YouTube.
So, it when you say like more community based, it like that actually was a more of a community back then.
I feel in general, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little harder nowadays, but still doable, just harder.
Don't quit. Just
Just try your best.
that's. I mean, that's all you can do.
Mhm.
Just do your best. And so, when you started, were there any anxieties or fears that you had?
So many. I was a big ball of anxiety back then. Big ball of fear and anxiety, honestly. It was kind of rough because like I said before, I was cripplingly shy and insecure about myself, and it still kind of carries over a little bit, although I've gotten a lot better about it. But a lot of it was from not wanting to be overbearing. A lot of it was thinking that I was annoying. That still comes up. Not saying that it's completely out of the woodworks yet with that, but it was just general anxieties of that nature.
So, with all the anxieties and through all the fears that you've had, what's kept you going?
Honestly, the idea that I'm getting practice working through it. Because, as I said before, I had a lot of fears and anxiety, especially when it came to interacting with people, and it affected my speech patterns. And once I started realizing that it was helping me work through it and better myself through what I was doing, that really gave me a huge push in the right direction of just kind of powering through it and getting it as good as I can. Though I still do struggle from time to time with it, but it's gotten a lot better, and I'm very happy with how it's turned out.
I mean, you're making far better sentences than I do.
You're doing well yourself. Don't cut yourself short.
So at what point do you remember your popularity increasing then?
I remember getting super, super stoked and like, oh my god, really excited. Probably a few months after I started. Like it took a while. It took a while for me to really start feeling like, hey, this is working. But I think it was about when I started to make friends and I started to really connect with the people that I was like interacting with in those little groups on YouTube. I got really excited around that point.
So was it kind of like a overnight success type of thing, or more of a slow build?
Very slow build. Very slow build.
Do you think there might be any sort of explanation other than just interacting, or you think that was mostly what did it?
Game choice, maybe. YouTube is kind of weird in that way, where it's a lot of networking, but it's also a fair bit of luck as well. You know, it's like it's hard to predict, and it's hard to track where things come from, and like, I mean, you can look at analytics, of course. That's a thing that exists, but in general, over time, it's hard to tell where the influx comes from. Sometimes it can be the big name games that really take off, and other times you just have those really obscure ones that just so happen, you know?
Yep, right place at the right time. So was there any moment where things just sort of clicked for you and you realized your channel was bigger than you thought it was going to be?
I think right when I was approaching the 100 sub mark is when I really took a step back and I was like, whoa, this is happening and it's working. I think because that was the first time that I did like a subscriber special sort of deal on my channel. I did like that little Let's Draw of me sitting in front of a TV or something. I forget, but I was so excited about it. I still remember that very fondly.
I know. I think I know what you're talking about, so I'll be able to use that in the video footage in the magical screen that appears in the middle that neither of us can see.
Yeah! Magic TV.
Ooh, ah. But I assume that felt pretty good.
Definitely.
Anybody that's been watching all three of these series so far knows that I've been asking very similar questions. But there are a couple that I have specifically for you.
Ah! Yay!
And for this first one, you have two particular Masaes that show up on your channel.
Oh boy.
The first one is Chipmunk Masae, that I believe you've dubbed it as. So can you explain what Chipmunk Masae is?
Chipmunk Masae is basically me, but super sped up and super high pitched, and I sound like a chipmunk. Think Alvin and the Chipmunks, except super derpy and video games.
This is the most retarded thing I've ever done. Swinging around. Oh man. I don't want to say this.
Do you know what series Chipmunk Masae showed up in first?
I do. And this was before it was even something that I regularly did. The very first Let's Play I ever did had Chipmunk Masae, technically. That stupid Volvagia fight that I have so much regret over. Oh my god, I'm dumb. I'm so dumb. Oh.
I'm pretty sure that is why I brought up the question.
No! How dare you?
It's okay. We'll talk more about it later.
Uh,
So there's another Masae. We got Chibi Masae, who seems kind of be like the mascot of the channel.
right.
Can you explain who Chibi Masae is?
Chibi Masae is a sarcastic jerk that likes to make fun of me and point out everything that I do wrong. And she's also like basically a little chibi me that appears in the corner of the video. And she has a little speech bubble where she has various information or things that I don't think to point out in the video itself.
And then, so where did the little derp noise come from?
Me.
Oh,
It's literally just me.
yeah, just very high pitched.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
I just go derp, and I just threw it into my editing program and boosted that pitch by like 7 times or something like that.
So, and speaking of that derp noise, that's pretty much all she would say in the beginning. But I noticed in the Pikmin LP you did, she has started talking with, as far as I'm concerned, pretty nifty results. What inspired you to go that direction with the Chibi Masae
God.
character?
Oh god. It was a last minute decision. Completely 100% last minute. I was in the process of making the series. I had everything rendered out and ready to go. The night before, I looked at it and I was like, you know what would be really cool? If I had little journal entries. So that night, I stayed up till like 5 in the morning to get this done on time.
Wow.
So I could upload it the next day. Yeah,
The fact that you even animated the character all those times.
yeah, I had to draw it, I had to record it, I had to write out the script that night. On my way to like upload it, I just did it on a whim, just completely on a whim.
I mean, that's amazing. I'd have just gone to bed and been like, maybe the next one.
I have a terrible track record of doing really random things that piles the work so much. It's kind of ridiculous.
Well, I mean, but on the flip side, it really makes your Pikmin LP stand out. Like, Pikmin is a game that maybe not every channel has done or will do in their lifespan, but it's certainly one of them that might get frequently brought up.
Yeah, right.
So in the sea of Pikmin LPs, it really kind of makes yours stand out.
Ah, thank you. I appreciate that. That's what I was hoping for when I thought of it. I was like, a lot of people have done Pikmin, and I have this little diabolical invader of this planet. What can I do with it?
Yeah, it wound up being a really nice add-on to the LP experience.
I'm glad. I'm really glad. Thank you.
Yeah, and actually, now that I think about it, is there any opportunities that we might see something like that again?
It depends. It depends. If I see a good opportunity for it, then I'll definitely go for it. But I've yet to really have a moment where I'm like, oh, I should bring that back, you know?
So last year, well, 2 years ago, I just realized that I wrote that. You began a kind of like a small project based off of your derp noises, where you kind of auto-tuned the derp noises to create songs for your Master Quest LP.
Oh, right.
What brought that on?
I had a predicament at that point where I needed to speed something up, but I didn't want to just have music over it because I find just blank music things kind of dull, I suppose. It's just not something that I personally like doing if I can help it.
Okay.
And there was nothing to really say in the midstream of it, so I didn't have anything to really work with. So what I decided to do was just make a song, so it's something that redeems that backtracking, you know?
Yeah, that actually works out. Again, it's more of that creative aspect that sort of brings something different to the LP experience. Especially, again, for a game that does quite often get LP'd.
Right, right.
Do you think that there's a future for more of this?
Oh yeah, definitely. If I find another song in a game that I feel like would lend itself well, then I'll go for it if I need the time killer.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I accidentally did not restart my clock, so I have to assume that it's been about 20 minutes.
Ah, okay.
All right, so we're going to take a little break right here. The next episode, we will continue talking more about the history of Masae's channel.
Yay.
But until then, this has been Let's Talk. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.